Hi kids! So, some of you have been following, I made a new drum, and it's already Gary. And I wanted to do a little video just to introduce the drum. The last drum I think I introduced on here was L'Oreal. We actually don't have that drum anymore. It went home with someone. Somebody needed it more than I did. So I tried to keep, I call them power drums. When we do drumming events, I like to have lots of traditional drums, traditional made drums from around the world, but I also like to have a few power drums like this that I put together myself. And the reason is when I do that, I can make them much more affordable for people, and that way we can reach more people. So this is the new one, and some people are following it being made, so I thought I would introduce it. It's a 22-inch. That is a ram and the raven. Down here at the bottom, this drum, while I was working on it, it was like it carried a lot of resurrection energy. And you see some of that. This is the hawthorn, and it is woven in the DNA double helix. And this is actually the elder plant, elder flowers. And on the side, we have in Latin and then again in English, as in heaven, also on earth. It was sort of a more culturally common way of saying as above, so below. More culturally acceptable way in my area. The drum, because it worked with resurrection so much, had to do with the elements, which is also the tetragrammaton. When I finish the drum, when I do these, I just listen to the drum and whatever it wants, and I kind of bring out what I see on the drum into more commonly perceived visual reality. But at the end, we had this space, and the drum said, put something there of you, and I thought, well, what goes along with the spirit of the drum that is also part of my life? And I thought, the tetragrammaton has been very important to me, so that ended up there. Because the drum is very resurrection energy, a lot of this has to do with death and grieving and coming to terms with those things. So there's the question, an ending or merely a movement? The outside trim, there's metallic in there. It's not quite velvet, but the black is very soft. But around here you'll see some of the things that I work with, as well as at each of the directions there are specific blessings for the directions worked in there. This also has a lot of the green energy in it, working with the green and the good mother and the abundance after the space left from death, and the ability that death gives energy to return and to be part of that fertile abundance that we love so much from the planet. On the sides, there are also specific messages that came through while I was working on it. So it says, the worlds, like two ships tied together. If a man died for you, is the life you're making worth that sacrifice? You'll be surprised at what does and doesn't hurt. Do not be afraid to feel what you do, and do not pretend to feel what you do not. Only with the heart can one see rightly. The back actually has bones attached to it. There's no glue here or anything. This is a soft padded, it's like a vinyl and fleece together. And the idea there was to bring in the light and the dark, but also to make this more, I want to do some things that are more comfortable for people with hand issues to work with, so this was more comfortable. And I also made a matching beater, so you can get the idea of what the beater looks like. And it has the same trim on the bottom. So, this is the new drum. It is actually named Rasputin. I know, but that's the name that it went by. So on the inside, the name of the drum, Rasputin, the Raven, and the Ram, is there. I also had the good sense to actually sign this one. I put my name on the inside somewhere. Hidden, very hidden, because I don't like putting my name on the drum. So maybe I can. And this is one of the singing drums. I don't know how much the echo you're picking up, but it is very echoey. Let me see if I can coax a little bit of sound out of it so you can get an idea what it sounds like here. Just to give you a little idea what it actually sounds like. Some things to know about Rasputin. I usually do 2 to 3 layers of dyeing, because this is actually dye. I don't use ink or anything like that. Because the way these are made, and one of the reasons that I can make them available at such a low price, is that the only way to really tune these, there isn't side tuning, there isn't back tuning. The only way to really tune these is with heat and water. So I have to use things that won't be upset by the water. So this is actually dye. Usually I do 2 or 3 layers of that, but I don't know if you can see it. The wing of the raven actually looks very cool. It only has 1 layer to it, which is one of the things you should know about this drum. But it gave it like a textured look, like it had feathers, more like that. So I decided to leave it that way. And then the same thing happened down on the leaves. Normally I would give that a few coats too, but it brought out a texture that was already in the skin. And it just looked really well. It looked really good, so I kept it. I want to tell you to like come play with us, come play with the drum if something in it makes you jump inside. To come see us in November. I'm teaching I think it's a 6-hour workshop. I don't know how I'm gonna put all this info in just 6 hours. We're gonna do lots of experiments too, working with each other and on each other, which is great. But I'm doing a 6-hour workshop in November on using different kinds of frame drums, single head and double head or 2-skinned as well, and the different shapes and different kinds of skin and different kinds of wood. This is rosewood, by the way. In November, but it's already sold out. So so we sold out, about a month and a half ahead of time. So if there's another one, I'll try to comment on that. If you're out of the area, if you're not around Pittsburgh, I do travel with these. So if you'd like to do some sort of workshop or event, let me know. I'd be happy to come to you. All right, have a wonderful day. Thanks for watching.